I'm Carol Berglund, and welcome to Carol's Art Creations. And I want to do a galaxy pour because my most beautiful pour, and the one I like the best, was the galaxy pour. And I think I would like to share that with you, and just let me go get that. So I'm back, and here is the galaxy pour that I did, that I just love so very much. It's one of my favorite pieces. And I did this a couple months ago, before I was even set up. I'm sorry, camera's still jiggling. I've got my camera mounted on this wrought iron angled structure my husband devised, which is better than I could come up with. But at any rate, I wanted you to see this. This is kind of the effect I'm going for. This is one of my most favorite pieces. And I was watching YouTube to show me how to do this particular type of pour. And I just fell in love with it. So I want to do that on a much bigger scale. This is a 20 by 20 canvas. And this is a 12 by 12. So let me tell you what I mixed up today. So I have mixed up a green color in my cup. Oops. And I have used Apple Barrel Real Greenin'. I used probably about 2 tablespoons of that. And I used the Apple Barrel Bright Yellow. Again, about 2 tablespoons of that. So that's about 2 ounces. And then I put some gold in it. Some Deco Art Americana Decor Metallics. And this is 24 karat gold. So I'm hoping just to kick that up a little bit and give it some metallic properties. I have copper. And again, I mix 6 ounces of Floetrol, a tablespoon of the Liquitex Gloss Varnish, Gloss Medium and Varnish. This is what I also use to varnish my paintings with. And of course I put that in the first painting as well. A tablespoon of gloss varnish in with that, with 6 ounces of Floetrol. This is where I do measure. The Galaxy Pour calls for a 3-to-1 Floetrol, 1 part paint. So I'm putting in 2 ounces of paint, 6 ounces of the Floetrol, with just a tablespoon of this. So the copper is the Deco Art Americana Decor Metallics Copper. And then I put in a little of the Burnt Sienna. And I'm going to say I put in maybe a teaspoonful. And this is paint by Deller Rowney. It is a brand of paint that I pick up at Walmart. And it's pretty good. It's a less expensive type. And then I mixed up 2 ounces of the Craftsman. And this is Ocean Breeze, but it looks like a turquoisey color, which is what I was going for. Again, 6 ounces of Floetrol, a tablespoon of the Liquitex Gloss Medium and Varnish, I also did the Gloss White. I put 2 tablespoons of the Liquitex Gloss Medium and Varnish, with about 3 ounces of the Saks Heavy Bodied Floor Acrylic Paint. Actually, let me pull that out and read that for you. It is the Saks True Flow Heavy Bodied Acrylic in the white. And then finally, I have the Payne's Gray by Liquitex. Oops, I'm sorry, that's the black. Payne's Gray is in the cup. Payne's Gray is a beautiful, like, dark charcoal gray with a hint of blue. It's 6 ounces of Floetrol, a tablespoon of the gloss medium and varnish, Liquitex, and of course the Floetrol. This is something you can buy at Home Depot, other hardware stores. So just look around for it. It's a pretty common product, especially here in the USA. That is how I create my pouring medium, especially for this particular pouring. And I have a little leftover black. It's mixed with about a 30% Mars Black Liquitex and the Floetrol. There's no gloss in this one. I'm going to use this one just to cover the corners and the sides. And so we're going to get started here just in a moment. I'm going to organize everything I need, and then I'll get right back with you. Okay, so I've used up all of my black mixed with Floetrol. Oops, I'm sorry. Let me quit that thing from shaking. Barely touched this angle iron and it's like anyway. That's good. I needed to use up that paint. The main thing was just making sure my outer sides and edges were covered in black. Usually these galaxy pours create a little bit of a negative space. I don't make them run all the way off, they kind of run off. What a mess, huh? Hard to believe that's going to be something beautiful. I'm going to torch this a little bit because there are some air bubbles. Ah, there goes my paper towel. And it hit the side. We don't want that. Now, let's just pop those air bubbles. Okay, let's get ready for our pour. So let me start with the Payne's Gray. That's going to be our center. So here's the consistency. Like warm honey. Runs off. You can do a ring, but it disappears. 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to pour a puddle in the middle. You can really see the difference in the color when you put it next to black. It's like a dark, deep gray charcoal with a hint of blue. And here is my PVC pipe. And the way this works is this puddle. I'm going to add a little more around the edge. Kind of create a little vacuum seal there. So I'm going to layer colors in here. and then I'm going to lift it without breaking that seal. The colors will go underneath. And this is what I was trying for in my first video. It just didn't turn out that well. So you know what they say. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And I've definitely succeeded before with these galaxy pours. And I think the difference is I actually did take the time, I did the math, I used the measuring cup, and I did that 3-to-1, which is what was recommended on the YouTube video I saw for doing this kind of pour painting. So I did that very thing. Okay, so let's get started here. I think for my next color, I want this aqua green. Oops. Which they don't call aqua green. They call it like an ocean green. Just want to pour a little bit in here. And here I have my gloss white that's 70% glow froth. A couple tablespoons of the pouring medium and varnish from Liquitex. And then I would like here's that copper color with a little bit of burnt umber in it, or burnt sienna, excuse me. See how I ring it, and then it just sinks in. That looks like it's sinking a little bit. That can happen. You really want these colors to kind of sit on top. So as you lift, they go under and disperse and make their own color pattern. Finally, here's the green I mixed up. And I put a little of that 24 karat gold from American Decor. I'm just going to drizzle this in. Try to do it lightly so it won't sink. Oh, it's sinking a little bit. Oh well. By the way, I measured the ounces from the bottom of this all the way up. It's just shy of 8 ounces, or 250 ml. Sorry, I don't know what the grams are. Again, Americans aren't taught the metric system. Let's go with a little Payne's Gray. I'm actually looking for a measuring cup that has the ounces and the metrics right beside it. I'd like to have one in ounces, and then one in ml, and one in grams, so that I could know what I'm talking about, which I don't. Be a good way to learn. Usually measuring cups is you have a measurement, then you turn around and you kind of lost your place because you don't know the metric system to begin with. So it would be helpful to have them like measured side by side. It helped me learn the metric system. Okay, so I'm putting a little bit of this aqua looking color, but they call it Ocean Breeze. Oops. strip there. A little copper. Kind of looks like a glistening pumpkin. I do like the fall. Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. It's always fun to give kids candy. I live in a mostly retirement community, so they don't come around anymore. And then Halloween has become dangerous. So when I was a kid, you never heard about somebody giving bad candy to a kid so the kid would get sick or die. It's just a shame. I think most people take their kids to malls and stuff like that. I know I started doing that with Brittany when she was little. That's my daughter. Because hey, you can never be too careful. So okay, I'm going to lift this up and let some of this come underneath. And hopefully the camera is picking this up. Oh yeah, you can see some of this right here. Some of this green. I'm going to give it a torch, see if anything can come out on this side. Okay, got a spill over here. Knocked my Payne's Gray over. Because why? I didn't make sure that the Payne's Gray was out of the way. Oh, that rhymes. Okay, I'm going to have to scoop up this paint. Okay. Oops, I'm going to pause here for a second. Okay, I'm back. I knocked over a cup of Payne's Gray and I had to scoop it up, throw it back in a cup. And that's what's so great about these vinyl tablecloths. It can really save you in those kind of cases. Let me move my stuff out of the way before I twirl. Hello. Okay, just going to give this a little spin. Not too hard. Okay, so it looks like the concentration's right there. Let's just release a little more color. And I'm seeing some more on this side, yay. And that is what you want. I'm a little bit clumsy tonight. Alright, let me get my torch. Okay, so I'll let most of that paint run out. Give it a gentle spin, gently, gently. Okay, the last color in there was white. Let me go back to this aqua or ocean green, as they call it. I'll just drizzle it against the stick and in there. And then copper. getting some cell action. I can see it. And then a little bit of white. And then the green with the gold. I wish you could see the kind of golden shimmer. I don't think the camera picks that up. I'll just run it down. And some of the Payne's Gray that I saved. Trying to find a stick that I had. Hello. Grab me another one. It's sitting somewhere on this table. I just don't know where it's at. All right, let's lift it up a bit. Ooh, that's pretty. Look at those cells. Let's make sure we're clear. Give it a gentle spin. A little bit more. Now that's fun. Let's release a little paint. And it's real important not to lift up all the way up because you want that paint seal around the outer edge of this pipe to stay intact. I'll spin it the other way. Step back. Torch around the center. Okay, let's fill this cup up a little more. Okay, let's do the ocean green or aqua in my mind. A copper. I wonder if when I say copper, it sounds funny to some of those ladies that I watch in Australia. I love their accents when they say copper. I can't even imitate it. A little white. And some green. Payne's Gray, which I scraped off of my vinyl tablecloth, but hey, saved it. Alrighty, make sure my cups are out of the spin zone, because when you spin it, if you've got something to catch, it will hit it. Aluminum foil pieces are scraping something on the bottom. And reverse. reverse. Alright, I'm going to lift and let some paint flow out. Okay. Spin again. When you do this art, be sure to change out of your normal clothes. What I'm wearing is an old sweatshirt that's got paint on it, so I don't mind if I get more paint on it. But if you ever do get paint on your clothes, you get you some odorless mineral spirits. Put that on your clothes. Just pour it straight on and let it sit for at least 20 to 30 minutes. And then wash your clothes. And a lot of times that will do it. Take the paint right out. I do think I want to put a little more paint in there because it's still got all this area. So I definitely want to get that covered. Ocean breeze. Copper. That's the way I hear the Australian lady say it. Copper. It's cute. Sounds normal when I say copper, but I'm sure to people who aren't Southern it sound funny. This is looking beautiful. Ah, okay, now I spilt the copper. Just call me Grace. I think it's a little spill though that I can easily rectify. And I picked up a little spot of the Payne's Gray in the center. Definitely need to invest in some more of the squirt bottles. I bought 8 of them. But it'd be nice when I mix up my specialty colors other than my base red, yellow, blue, green, purple, to put them in a bottle, and that way I have better control. Alright, a little white. Green. And some more Payne's Gray. And hopefully this will be the last layering that we need to do, because I will have enough paint to cover this board. I hope so, because I've kind of run out of black, which is not good. Anywho, let's lift and let it disperse. Let's make sure our cups are out of the way. Give it a little spin. Whoops. Don't spin the canvas, spin the wood piece. opposite way. Come on. I'm going to torch around the center. Bit more. Now, if you're new to all this and you don't know about the torching, the reason we do that is twofold. One, to pop all the little air bubbles that get up under the paint, and then two, it helps to heat up the paint to bring up these underlying cells, and these cells are gorgeous. I don't have any silicone or anything other than the Floetrol and the Liquitex Pouring Medium and Gloss Varnish. I think it's Gloss Pouring Medium and Varnish, but you get the gist. Okay, let's give this a spin. So I'm going to go ahead and lift that right off. Take my little plastic handy dandy cheap little tool, which you need. You need these tools that have that little bend in them. So it's not flat and you don't disturb the other paint. You've got better control to come down here and just kind of smear this around. I don't want to smear it around too much, but I did want to get a little bit of color in the center. Wow, these cells are beautiful. I don't want to lose those at all. But with tilting, I probably will lose some of them. I'm going to put a little of the Payne's Gray around where I'm missing on the next to the black. Once you put the Payne's Gray next to the black, you can really see the difference in the color. Sometimes just looking in a cup just don't do it for you. But even though it seems like you always start in the center, you'll wind up getting one part that's closest to the edge. It's usually the most beautiful part that you like to keep. Although I've got some fantastic cells happening. So I'm so glad that I took the time to do the measurement of the 3:1, 3 parts Floetrol, 1 part paint, and I'm sure it's probably Floetrol. In the South, we always add an extra syllable. I try to catch myself on that. I can still hear the man at the Home Depot say, "I've never heard anybody say it like that." I'm like, that's because you probably haven't been to the South, honey. Okay. So there, I've got some bald spots covered up, a few here, but I'm hoping that once we tilt, I'm just going to put a little of this right here, just to kind of keep the color about the same. Alrighty. First thing I'm going to do is tilt a little that way. Maybe get some of this off. And if I didn't tell you earlier, this is a 20 by 20 canvas. I think I mentioned that, but I might not. Stop right there, bring it back to center. And I think I will go, oops, towards me. I'll let it go down to the other side. Trying to keep my fingers off the edges. Center up. You do leave some negative space in the corners. You definitely don't want some bare spots showing. I'm just trying to get this to flow right back to the center. Well, that's pretty. Very pretty. Very happy with that. Let me take a look. I do have some areas that need a little black. Unfortunately, I don't have any black. And maybe I've got a little bit left in my container, hopefully. Wow, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's see if I can get some drips out just to cover these edges. You really don't want naked canvas showing. Paying attention to the sides is important. So I'm going to leave these 3 negative spaces because I just think they're pretty. And to me it gives it that galaxy exploding and creating. This one turned out really, really pretty. Sometimes though, some of these big blotches, this is more like a cloudy looking pour. And they can kind of look like intestines and stuff. In that case, I like to break it up a little bit. I like these extra long toothpicks. I think I bought these at Walmart. They're fancy. You stick in a sandwich or olives and cheese and hors d'oeuvres. like to kind of run through. I don't really like that L shape there. I'm going to use the back end of this. A little bit of drop of this aqua like right in the center. Oops. Didn't want to drizzle, wanted a drop. Bring this around. Let's give it a little quick tilt. When you add a little paint like that, it can really stand out and not look the same. And if you just kind of tilt it a little bit, it kind of disperses it and gives it that wispy look like it was tilted with the original painting. Let's do it this way. That gave me a bird's eye view of my corner that's unfinished. Can't have that. Move this just a little bit more. Let me give it a little smear. Smear. Okay. Tilt it from this side. And it looks like it's blending in a little bit better. Oh, there we go. All right. I have to say, I'm loving that. Really, I am loving that. Let's just kind of go through this a little bit. See how that changes to a heart? If I change your cells into a heart, just stroke through the middle. But I don't want to do too many of them because I really love cells. See how this green and white? Here's the copper and the green. Here's the white, green, and copper. I am really hoping that this will continue to make cells. And I am going to torch it one more time. And then make sure I fix up my corners, which I can do off camera. My hands and torch it, see what we get. But I don't believe I'm going to stretch this anymore. It's just too pretty. much, as I do not want to ruin my painting. I got a bunch of push pins. I'm going to give it just a gentle tilt that way. Just trying to get this center part a little bit more center. There we go. Don't touch it. Although I've got some white coming up, if I tilted it and stretched it more, I probably could get a lot more coming out here. But well, I am very happy with that. That is just beautiful. It's a little bit more silly than my other ones that I did. Oops, quit touching that, Carol. My fingers are clumsy tonight. I keep hitting the side. But anyway, I'm going to fix this up. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off. I hope you love this. I hope you love it as much as I do. It's the bomb. Okay, thanks guys. We'll do another one. Bye-bye.